Hey everybody, welcome back to the Dungeon Dive. Daniel here. All right. Sometimes I like to go on websites like Amazon or Miniature Market and look at games that are on sale, games I've never heard of, and just take a chance on them. Maybe looking for that kind of like hidden gem. It's kind of like, it's fun to search out for games that you've never heard of in hopes of discovering that one game that maybe, is like just such a great game, a great surprise, something to really blow you away, and something that doesn't cost a lot of money. A couple weeks ago, I was on Miniature Market looking at the games that were on sale, and I came across this Dobbers Quest for the Key, and I thought it looked interesting. I had never heard of it, and I did really like the look of it, especially the back of the box there. I looked at the some of the art and thought it looked quite nice. What this game is a kind of adventure game slash dungeon crawl. Think of it kind of like Clank, but rather than going through a dungeon, you are building a deck for your hero and you are moving through a land. You are trying to move through these different challenges using your deck of cards that you've built to overcome those challenges and move into this last space here, which holds the key. And the first person to overcome any challenges in this last space is the winner. Your characters are represented by a card, and you can lay those cards on a character sheet like that. There are quite a few of the characters. Now, one thing I do want to call attention to is the artist. It is the artist and the game creator, Daryl T. Jones, and he has created these characters called Dobbers. I think of them like his version of hobbits or halflings, that kind of thing. But his art is really nice. It has a very cartoony look. It does remind me of something like just a unique style that I would have seen on a kind of like one of those weird cartoons that you would see as a kid, maybe on HBO or something. I don't know. Not like Saturday morning cartoon style, but just something unique. And I was quite drawn in by the art and also the fact that it is an adventure deck building game. I thought that was pretty cool. You don't see a ton of those. But you're going to draw a character. Each one of the characters is going to have a special power, and then the characters are going to give you resources. There are three main resources in the game that you are building your deck towards, and those are travel points and challenge points, and also universal points, which can be used for travel or for challenge. And you can keep track of them on this sheet like that, and it does come with these little colored discs so you can keep track of your total like that, which is pretty handy, I think. Now, this game is definitely focused on competitive play, and that really is where it excels. There is a solo mode, but I don't think it is all that interesting. If I'm going to be playing a solo dungeon or a solo deck building adventure game, I am definitely going to be playing Hand of Fate Ordeals, which I think is a fantastic game. But like all deck building games in this genre, you have a deck of cards, your store items that you are going to buy. They are separated into different categories. You have items, you have armor, you have weapons, and those things you can equip onto your card. You have a point value that you are going to purchase the cards for from your hand of cards. As you gain more money, you can buy more expensive things. And then those items, armor, and weapons, they get equipped to your character and they add a universal, a travel, or challenge point to your total. Some of them will also give you influence, which is what you buy things with. And then there are also effect cards you play from your hand to add to your totals and to do other things. If you have items, weapons, equipment, items, weapons, or armor in your hand, they are really not used for anything until they are equipped. And you can only have one of each equipped on your character at the same time, and those will be down there below in the weapon slot, item slot, and armor slot. So You want to get rid of those cards in your hand if you're not using them. There are different ways you can destroy those cards. These purple cards often allow you to cull your hand, so those are good if you want to have a slim deck. You want to get those purple cards. And as you can see, some of these cards also have a color. There are blue, green, purple, and yellow. And a lot of times you can combine cards of similar color to have synergy effects. So you can shape your deck to be like a purple deck, a yellow deck, a blue deck, or a green deck to do better things with those cards. So you do kind of want to focus on maybe one or two. Now in this, in the store deck, in the item deck, there are also some events that might happen, some random things that cause little hiccups in the game that trigger every once in a while. And the way the solo game works is there are a deck of, I think it's about 20 of these different event cards, and those get shuffled in the top half of your store deck. And as these get drawn, then things on the board change, because that is really where the competitive nature and where this game does shine is in its competitive nature, because out on the board you're going to have these large spaces. You're going to be starting in, everybody's going to start in one of these spaces here. You have C and D, and then A and B are on the other side. And you're going to have your little meeple, and you're going to be moving through track. These blue tokens or these blue icons, those represent how much movement points or how many movement points you need to progress to the next space. So you would need 2 to traverse that bridge, you would need 3 to traverse that path, and then 3 to move into this big challenge space. Now this is where I think the game gets interesting, and this is why I do think that it is better as a competitive game, because there are a deck of location cards and a deck of creature cards. And these two can be purchased by players. And when they are purchased, they are put out in empty spaces. So you can put a location there, you can put a creature there, and then when a player moves onto that space, they flip over, and then they have to encounter the space that you've created. You've created a challenge stack. Now what's interesting is once you have a location and a creature there, then you can start feeding unwanted items from your deck. They have to be equipment, weapons, items, or armor. And then you can start putting one of each in between those cards, sandwiched like that, so the icon is showing like that. And then whoever defeats that challenge, well, then they can get those cards. So that is a way to get rid of cards you no longer need. Maybe stash them for later so you can come around a path and pick them up. It's kind of a cool little concept. But these are the cards that really drew me to the game, just because I thought that the art was so good and interesting, vibrant and colorful, and it looks different. And so when you flip over the cards, when you flip over your challenge stack, you're going to have a rope bridge maybe, and you might get to read the result. The rope bridge swings with each step, and your hero is not sure if the boards will hold. Well, to overcome this challenge, you need a challenge level of 2, so you're going to have to spend 2 points. However, if you have any gear that has this icon, then that's like a travel icon or a what is that icon there? There are 4 different icons. That is a navigation icon. So there are different kinds of gear that might have navigation bonuses, protection bonuses, combat bonuses, or travel bonuses. If you have any of those pieces of equipment equipped, well, then you get an easier time with that challenge. So you might have like a cloak or something equipped that allows you to get over that bridge easily, but then you have to deal with this rat berserker here. And the rat berserker also needs a 3, and he also has a special ability where it says, when revealed before a challenge, turn over cards from the top of the adventure deck. The adventure deck are the items and things that you are buying, your store deck, until you find a weapon card. Equip the weapon to the rat berserker, even if it already has a weapon equipped. Shuffle all other revealed cards back in. So he gets stronger, possibly. When you defeat him, if you end up defeating both of the challenges, well, then you can progress through. And like I said, you are trying to move through the board to be the first person into this center there and obtain the key, the quest for the key. So yeah, kind of an interesting little game. I do want to play it with a group. I don't think I can judge it fairly playing solo because it's really not where the game shines. However, I did have a really good time just kind of setting the game up and looking at the art, which is all really nice. And the rule book is pretty well written. It's a pretty good package, and I think the fact that you can pick it up now for like 20 bucks, 25 bucks, it seems to be like maybe on a clearance sale or something. I think there is one expansion. I'm not going to go ahead and get that. This is enough for this game. But yeah, I think you could do worse as far as adventure game deck builders go. There are some neat things. I like how the players create the board as they are playing. There was an older game. It wasn't a deck builder, but it was a competitive adventure game called Venture Forth that I had quite a long time ago. And that too had a mechanism where the other players were creating the challenges for the heroes. And that's kind of interesting. It is also kind of like Dungeoneer as well. The creature art, I think, is especially good, and I just love the different colors and the designs. They're different. It doesn't look like every other fantasy board game out there. So that is kind of the main reason why I picked it up. And surprise, surprise, it's actually a kind of a decent little deck builder. So deck building is surprisingly something that isn't utilized a lot in adventure style board games, and I think it could be. It is a neat way to simulate character creation. As you can tell also, some of the creatures that you will be fighting also match those different colors: yellow, green, purple, and blue. And so depending on the kinds of equipment and the kinds of effects you have in your equipped to your hero or in your hand, you might get bonuses against those different creatures to hit that synergy. But yeah, check it out. If you're looking for something kind of light, something that you can play maybe with your family or some friends and not have to get too crazy involved in like a whole bunch of rules or story or a campaign or something, but you want a nice little deck builder that can give you an adventure feel, maybe like you're creating a character as you're going, questing for that key, give Dobbers a chance. And I'm actually really excited. I want to check out more of Daryl T. Jones's art. He has created a Dobbers like campaign guide for D&D 5th edition, so I am interested in seeing more of his creations out there, because I think he's created a neat, interesting little world, very fairy tale like, pleasant to be in, and that's always nice, especially in this day and age. So yeah, I just wanted to take a look at that, take a look at this game, because it is fun to pick up those games that maybe we aren't the big games, aren't the big hyped games that everybody is talking about. I have not heard anybody mention Dobbers' Quest for the Key, so I thought I would take a chance on it. And I can't say that it's a hidden gem. It's not something that I'm like, oh wow, this is amazing. I'm so glad I bought this. You know, I think the last game I did that with was like Rogue Dungeon, a game that I had heard nothing about, and that game just kind of blew me away. This is just an okay buy. So if you're looking for, like, you know, a lot of us have every game that we want, and sometimes we're just looking for something a little new and something to get us excited for that next game night that isn't going to break the bank, isn't going to be hard to learn, hard to teach, and can be played pretty quickly. I can recommend Dobbers' Quest for the Key for that kind of situation. So, all right, guys, well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and we will talk to you later. Bye-bye.